If you hear this on the phone, say these three simple words and hang up immediately without any hesitation. Your phone suddenly rings, you pick it up, and the person on the other end immediately says a very specific phrase. The instant you recognize that phrase, before you start explaining yourself, before you ask any questions, before you try to be polite or helpful, you calmly say those three powerful words and immediately end the call. Those three words are simply, "I am hanging up." You speak them clearly, confidently, and without any further discussion. Then you disconnect the call right away. Today, I am going to teach you exactly the 7 most dangerous red flag phrases that should instantly trigger those 3 protective words every single time you hear them. If you learn to quickly recognize these phrases and act on them without delay, you can successfully protect yourself and your loved ones from 99% of the sophisticated phone scams that are currently targeting people across America and many other countries right now. These are not some rare, obscure, or complicated tactics. These are the exact phrases being actively used by professional scammers every single day to steal billions of dollars from innocent, hardworking people year after year. And the victims losing that money are not necessarily careless or unintelligent individuals. They are often smart, careful people who simply never learned what specific words or patterns to listen for. After watching this complete video, that dangerous knowledge gap will no longer exist for you. Before we dive deep into the 7 critical phrases, please hit the subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because this channel is fully dedicated to protecting you, your family, and everyone you care about from exactly these kinds of modern threats and dangers. Share this important video with at least one family member, one close friend, or one elderly relative before it finishes, because the person who needs this life-saving information the most might be someone who would never actively search for it on their own. Now, let us get straight into the details. Phrase number 1. Can you hear me? This remains the single most dangerous and effective opening phrase on the entire list, and it is dangerous for a psychological reason that catches most people completely off guard. The caller starts with a friendly, casual hello, pauses briefly for dramatic effect, and then asks in a concerned tone, "Can you hear me?" It sounds completely innocent, like a simple technical question about a bad connection or noisy background. Your natural, polite, automatic human response is to reply yes. And that single yes is precisely what the scammers are desperately hoping to capture here. Is exactly what happens next. The scammers secretly record your voice saying yes. They now possess a clear audio clip of you in your own natural voice speaking the word yes. Then they cleverly edit and reuse that recording in an entirely different fraudulent context. Later, when another company or service calls to supposedly verify a large transaction or expensive service and asks, "Do you approve this charge?" the scammers simply play your recorded yes as if it were your real-time live approval. Your own voice, your own yes, is weaponized to authorize something you never actually agreed to or wanted. The recording can also be used to build completely fake authorization logs that become extremely difficult for victims to successfully dispute afterward, because their own voice appears to confirm the transaction. So what should you do the exact moment you hear, "Can you hear me?" You immediately say those 3 protective words, "I am hanging up," and then you follow through without any delay or explanation. You do not answer the question. You do not say yes, no, maybe, or anything else at all, because any verbal response you give could potentially be recorded, clipped, edited, and later misused against you. A legitimate real caller from a genuine business, a doctor's office, your bank, your insurance provider, or any trustworthy organization never begins a call with, "Can you hear me?" They always open professionally by identifying themselves right away. Something like, "Hello, this is Sarah, calling from Dr. Johnson's office to confirm your upcoming appointment." Tomorrow, they state their name, their organization, and the clear purpose of the call within the very first sentence. The "Can you hear me" opening is a well-known trap. And now that you understand exactly how it works, you will never fall for it again. Phrase number 2. This is your final notice. This is your final notice before we take legal action. Final warning. Last chance to respond before consequences. These urgent-sounding phrases are carefully designed to accomplish one primary goal, and they are extremely effective at achieving it. They are engineered specifically to trigger immediate panic and fear in the listener. When you suddenly hear the words "final notice," your nervous system goes into high alert. Something urgent and potentially catastrophic is happening, and you must act right now or face serious trouble. That manufactured sense of urgency is the entire manipulative point. A person who is panicking does not think logically clearly or take time to verify anything. They do not pause to check the caller's identity or call back using an official published number. Instead, they react impulsively to whatever demand or instruction the caller gives. Next here is the cold, hard reality that instantly kills the panic. Real legitimate companies, real government agencies, and real legal institutions almost never deliver final notices, warnings, or ultimatums over a random unsolicited phone call. The IRS always sends official certified mail. Social Security uses formal written correspondence. Your bank or credit card company sends proper documented notices through secure channels. Any genuine legal proceeding requires official documents properly served through authorized law enforcement or court processes. There simply is no legitimate, reputable organization operating in the United States or most developed countries that delivers serious final legal, financial, or governmental notices exclusively through cold, unsolicited phone calls. None whatsoever. So the moment you hear final notice, final warning, last chance, or any similar urgent threat on an incoming call, you already know with complete certainty that the call is fraudulent. You say those 3 words, "I am hanging up," and you disconnect immediately if there were any real legitimate issue involving your taxes, benefits, accounts, or legal matters. You would have already received proper official written documentation long before any phone call ever reached you. Phrase number 3, your Social Security number has been suspended or flagged. This particular phrase is crafted to sound absolutely terrifying because it directly attacks the very core of your personal identity, your Social Security number, the unique identifier tied to your entire life, your benefits, your taxes, your financial history, and your legal standing has supposedly been suspended due to suspicious or criminal activity. You must verify everything right now or face severe, irreversible consequences. Law enforcement may already be involved and time is running out. Every single element of that alarming story is completely fabricated. And here is the single most important fact you must remember forever. A Social Security number cannot actually be suspended. That entire concept does not exist in reality. The Social Security Administration does not possess the legal authority, the technical systems, or the operational procedures to suspend, freeze, or deactivate anyone's Social Security number. It has literally never happened to any citizen, and it cannot happen. The scammers deliberately use this false claim because they know the average person does not realize that Social Security numbers cannot be suspended. They count on your natural fear and uncertainty. They count on the fact that you would rather play it safe and comply. than risk losing everything when it involves something as critical as your camera senses you might be getting suspicious or preparing to end the call. So they immediately deploy their strongest weapon, which is the terror of imminent law enforcement action. If you dare hang up right now, an arrest warrant will be issued. Police officers are already en route to your home. Federal agents have been notified, and your full cooperation is legally required. These dramatic phrases are meant to completely freeze you in fear, making you believe that simply ending the call itself would be an illegal criminal act that triggers real-world consequences, genuine real law. Enforcement officers, federal agents, or court officials never operate this way. Authentic police or government authorities do not randomly call citizens on personal phones and threaten immediate arrest if the person does not stay on the line and comply. Arrest warrants are only issued through formal judicial court processes, and they are properly served by trained law enforcement officers using official documented channels. They are never casually announced or enforced over a surprise, unsolicited phone conversation. Real authorities do not need to keep you talking on the line. If they have a legitimate reason to contact you, they will use proper, verified methods, and they will provide official documentation. A random phone threat is never legitimate documentation. It is purely a scare tactic. When you hear, "do not hang up," or "you will be arrested," or any variation of police coming to your door, you immediately say those 3 words, "I am hanging up," and you disconnect. Then, if any genuine worry remains, you contact your local police department yourself using a number you personally look up from official sources. Never use any callback number the scammer provides. Phrase number 5, press 1 to speak with an agent. This scam often arrives as an automated robocall. A smooth, professional-sounding recorded voice delivers an urgent message claiming there is a serious problem with your bank account, your insurance policy, a suspicious charge on your credit card, or some other emergency situation that demands your immediate attention. All you need to do is simply press 1 on your keypad to be instantly connected with a helpful agent who can fix everything right away. The second you press that 1 button, one of 2 bad things usually happens. Either you get connected to a live, skilled scammer who will spend the next many minutes cleverly extracting as much personal, financial, and identifying information from you as possible, or you get routed to a hidden premium rate phone line that starts charging you expensive fees per minute without your clear knowledge or consent. Neither possible outcome is acceptable or safe. Both are deliberately designed into the system. This is a sophisticated robocall operation built entirely around tricking you into pressing that single button. The recorded voice serves as the attractive bait, and pressing 1 springs the trap. Real legitimate companies or institutions that actually need to contact you about a genuine account issue never use robocall systems that instruct you to press numbers to continue if there is a real verifiable problem with any of your accounts. You can and should always call them directly yourself using the official customer service number printed on the back of your card, found on their verified website, or listed on your monthly statement. You never ever need to respond to an unexpected incoming robocall to resolve something legitimate. When you hear press 1 or any similar instruction, you simply hang up. Without pressing anything, you do not press 2 or any other number to supposedly be removed from their list, because that only confirms to them that your number is active and usually leads to even more spam calls. Phrase number 6, we need to verify your information. The caller smoothly introduces themselves as a representative from your bank, your insurance company, Medicare, a government agency, or some other trusted sounding organization. And then they politely say, we just need to quickly verify a few pieces of your information for security purposes. Can you please confirm your social security number? What are the last 4 digits of your credit card? Can you tell me your date of birth and your mother's maiden name? They carefully frame the entire request as a protective security measure. They make it sound like they are calling specifically to safeguard you and your accounts. Here is the one undeniable fact that completely exposes every single version of this scam, real established. Companies and organizations that already maintain your official account records do not need to call you out of the blue to ask you to recite your private personal information back to them. They already possess all of that data securely on file. Your bank knows your account details, your insurance provider has your social security number documented, Medicare has your birth date and medical records. The only kind of entity that would ever need you to verbally provide sensitive information over an unsolicited incoming phone call is an entity that does not already have it. And any entity that does not already have your information cannot possibly be the legitimate organization they are pretending to be. You hang up immediately. And if you want to check anything, you call the real organization yourself using an official verified number. You personally locate, never volunteer or confirm any personal, financial, or identifying details to any incoming caller, no matter how official or concerned they sound. Phrase number 7, you have won a prize, but first the excitement hits you instantly. Congratulations, you have been specially selected. You have won $5,000 of free luxury vacation package, an expensive gift card, or some other wonderful prize. And all you need to do is simply claim it right away. Then come the fatal words that reveal the entire deception. But first, you need to provide your bank account number so we can deposit the money you need to pay. A small one-time processing fee of $99 to release your winnings. You need to verify your identity by giving us your full social security number, or you need to cover the shipping and handling costs for your valuable prize package. Legitimate real prizes, legitimate contest winnings, and authentic sweepstakes never require the winner to pay any money up front. Send any personal details or cover extra fees before receiving their reward. That business model does not exist. If you truly won something valuable, the prize arrives at your door or gets deposited without you paying a single cent the moment any so-called prize notification includes the words "but first" or requires any form of payment, personal information, or verification. The prize is completely fake. The only real thing about that call is the scammer eagerly trying to extract money or data from you. You say those 3 protective words, "I am hanging up," and you end the call immediately. Now, here is the single golden unbreakable rule that beautifully connects all 7 dangerous phrases into one simple, easy to remember protective habit. I call it the powerful 3-second test. Whenever your phone rings from any number you do not immediately recognize, you listen carefully for only the first 3 seconds. In those critical 3 seconds, you are actively listening for clear warning signals such as a robotic recorded or unnatural sounding voice, or the dangerous words, "Can you hear me?" Any instruction to press a number on your keypad, the scary phrase, "final notice," or any sudden expression of fine extreme urgency, panic, or threat. If any one of those red flag signals appears within the first 3 seconds, you already know the call is almost certainly fraudulent. You say those 3 words, "I am hanging up," and you disconnect without waiting for more context, without giving them any chance to explain themselves, without trying to figure out if this particular call might somehow be the rare exception. You simply hang up. The comparison that makes everything crystal clear is this: a scammer almost always opens with something like, "Can you hear me? Press 1 for an urgent message," or "This is your final notice." A real legitimate caller from a trusted organization opens professionally with, "Hi, this is Sarah calling from Dr. Johnson's office. We are reaching out to confirm your scheduled appointment tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Real callers always identify themselves by name and organization within the very first sentence. They clearly explain the exact reason for their call right away. They never ask for sensitive private information over the phone. They never create artificial panic or urgency, and they never threaten losses and the potential complete theft of his personal identity. William's story is far from unusual. It is happening every single day to good, intelligent, careful people who simply never learned to recognize the specific red flag phrases until someone took the time to clearly show them, now you know these phrases by heart, and now you have the power to protect yourself and to teach someone else. Here are the 7 dangerous phrases one final time, so they stay locked forever in your memory. Can you hear me? Hang up immediately. This is your final notice. Hang up. Your social security number has been suspended. Hang up. Do not hang up, or you will be arrested. Hang up. Press 1 to speak with an agent. Hang up. We need to verify your information. Hang up. You have won a prize. But first, hang up. In every single case, the protective response is always the same. Those 3 calm, confident words. First, I am hanging up, and then you hang up without any further engagement. You now possess valuable knowledge that could literally save you or someone you deeply love from losing everything to one single phone call. But this information only becomes truly powerful when it reaches the right people who need it most. Think carefully right now about one specific person in your life, perhaps a parent, a grandparent, an elderly aunt or uncle, or a neighbor who receives many phone calls and who might not yet know these critical red flag phrases. Please share this entire video with them today, not tomorrow, not later, but right now, before you close this page or switch to another task. But one thoughtful share might end up being the single most important kind thing you do for someone you care about this entire week. If this video gave you useful, practical knowledge that made you feel safer and more empowered, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more protective content, and leave a comment telling me which phrase surprised you the most. I read every single comment, and I am always here to help you. Stay safe. I care deeply about keeping you and your loved ones protected from these growing threats. Thank you for watching. Stay alert, stay smart, and always remember those 3 powerful words will save you when you need them most.